Hello everyone, welcome back. Here we can start our next portion, that is the parotid gland and its anatomy. We can cover introductions, location and shape, covering and lobes, relation, structures, parotid duct, blood and nerve supply, histology and clinical anatomy. So without wasting time, we can proceed. First, introduction of the parotid gland. A simple overview, largest of the three paired major salivary gland. It is a pure serous, means it is an exocrine gland which secrete watery enzyme-rich saliva, and it produces up to 25% of the total saliva volume. It contributes 50% of the saliva during stimulated secretions. Its name derived from the Greek para means beside, otes means ear, so means beside the ear. Move to the embryology section, develops from the oral ectoderm, portion of the ectoderm, that is stomodeum, around 6 weeks of the gestation. First major salivary gland to develop, last to become encapsulated. Most important, facial nerve, that is the seventh cranial nerve, grows into gland after initial development. Encapsulation occur after nerve penetration. Cranial nerve 7 divide that gland. Lymph node trapped inside during late encapsulation, because we can read that encapsulation occur at the last. So lymph node and nerves, it's all occur first, then encapsulation occur. Most important key fact is that the facial nerve is that nerve which divide the parotid gland into superficial and deep lobes. The anatomical relationship is critical in parotid surgery. Why? Injury to the cranial nerve 7 that cause the facial palsy. Move to the next. What's about location? It is situated in the face below and in front of the ear, that is preauricular region. Lies between ramus of mandible and mastoid process. Extend from the zygomatic arch superiorly to angle of the mandible inferiorly. It anteriorly overlaps the masseter muscle. A small portion, deep lobe, lie in the parapharyngeal space. What about shape? It is irregular in shape, described as the three-side pyramid or wedge shape. Three surface, superficial, lateral, anteromedial and posteromedial. Three borders, anterior, posterior and medial. What about apex? Directed downward behind angle of the mandible. Base directed upward towards the zygomatic arch. Size, average weight 15 to 30 gram. Length approx 6 centimeter. Width approx 3.5 centimeter. Superficial lobe about 80% of the total gland volume, and deep lobe is about the 20% of the total gland volume. Sometimes accessory parotid gland also occur, that is small detached part lying on the masseter muscle, present in the up to 20% of the individuals, lies along parotid duct anteriorly, may be confused with the parotid tumor clinically. It is the most common that we can palpate that region, we can feel somehow that either it is accessory or either it is a tumor. It went by a separated duct joining the main parotid duct. What about lobes? Divide into superficial and deep lobe by facial nerve 7. Superficial lobe, as already we can see, read that it is a larger lobe. 80% of the gland volume lies lateral to the facial nerve. Accessible surgically without nerve sacrifice, because when any tumor involve the parotid, we can easily assess that lobe and we can don't damage the facial nerve. Common site for the benign tumor, that is pleomorphic adenoma. It is that tumor that is most common tumor of the parotid gland, that is benign in nature. Deep lobe, smaller, 20% of the gland volume, lies medial to the facial nerve, extend into the parapharyngeal space. Deep lobe tumor cause oropharyngeal bulge. When tumor involve the deep lobe, the chances of the facial nerve injury is too high. Mainly, it can occur. Parotid sheath enclosed in parotid fascia derive from the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. Fascia is split to enclose the gland, forming the parotid sheath. Superficial layer thick and dense, adherent to skin. Deep layer thin, weakest point, deep lobe herniation site. Extension and ligament. Septa extend from capsule, divide gland into lobules. Superficial layer attached to zygomatic arch superiorly, continuous with mesenteric fascia anteriorly. Stylomandibular ligament condense deep layer separate parotid from submandibular gland. Parotid bed formed by the posteromedial relations. Relation of the parotid gland, superiorly zygomatic arch, superficial temporal vessels, auriculotemporal nerve. Inferiorly angle of mandible, cervical branch of facial nerve, great auricular nerve, that is C2, C3. Superficial lateral, skin and subcutaneous fat, platysma muscle, parotid lymph node, great auricular nerve, terminal branch of the facial nerve. Anteromedial ramus of mandible, medial pterygoid muscle, masseter muscle, maxillary artery, that is deep, inferior alveolar and lingual artery. Posteromedial, that is the parotid bed. Mastoid process, sternocleidomastoid muscle, posterior belly of the digastric, styloid process, and its three muscles, that is styloglossus, stylohyoid, and stylopharyngeus. Stylomandibular ligament, also external carotid artery, retromandibular vein, cranial nerve 9, 10, 11, and 12. Structure embedded in the parotid gland. What's the mnemonic? Superficial to deep, skin, arteries, lymph node, facial nerve, one retromandibular vein, again nerve, that parotid duct. From superficial to deep, facial nerve 7 and its 5 terminal branches, retromandibular vein formed by the superficial temporal plus maxillary vein. External carotid artery, maxillary and superficial temporal artery, parotid lymph node, superficial and deep. Facial nerve branches, temporal branch, zygomatic, buccal, marginal mandibular branch, and cervical branch, all five exit at the anterior border of the gland. Blood vessels in gland, external carotid artery that enter posteromedial surface, maxillary artery anteromedially, superficial temporal artery exit superiorly, retromandibular vein exit inferior pole, that is external jugular vein. What about course and structure? Also called Stenson duct. It's a duct named on the basis of the scientist Neil Stenson. Length approx 5 to 7 centimeter, diameter 2 to 3 millimeter, emerges from the anterior border of the gland, runs horizontally across masseter, level of upper second molar tooth. It's the most important point from the BCQ's point of view. Turn medially and the anterior border of the masseter muscle on 90-degree, pierce buccinator muscle and buccal fat pad. Open at parotid papilla, buccal mucosa open opposite upper second molar. Surface marking and features. Surface marking middle third to tragus to midpoint of the upper lip line. Palpable on clechic teeth, masseter tightens, duct become taut. Accessory parotid duct may join the Stenson duct, duct wall, mucous membrane, connective tissue, smooth muscle, orifice papilla, small visible elevation on buccal mucosa. Clinical relevance, parotitis means duct opening red and swelling, inflammation of the parotid gland. Parotid calculi, it's known as sialolithiasis, stones, obstructive sialidinitis. Duct ligation causes gland atrophy used in Fraze syndrome. Catheterization, sialography performed via duct orifice. Important relationship, buccal branch of the cranial nerve 7 run parallel to that duct, that is surgical landmark. Either it is a tumor involved at superficial or deep gland. Transverse facial artery run above duct. Accessory parotid gland lies along duct on masseter muscle. Angular vein relationship important in parodectomy when we can remove whole parotid gland. Blood supply and lymphatic drainage. Arterial supply, external carotid artery, main supply interposterior-medially, branch within maxillary artery and superficial artery, temporal artery, also transverse facial artery, branch of superficial temporal. Venous drainage, retromandibular vein form within the gland, anterior vein common facial vein leads into vein into internal jugular vein, posterior vein external jugular vein. Clinical notes: scalp tumor, melanoma, or squamous cell carcinoma, metastasized to parotid node. Always examine parotid in scalp tumors. Intraglandular node: explain why nasopharyngeal tumor metastasized to parotid. Lymphatic drainage: superficial preglandular parotid node located on the outer surface under parotid fascia, drain scalp, auricle, eyelid, lacrimal gland, external auditory meatus. Deep intraglandular parotid node trapped within the gland during late encapsulation, 3 to 4 node along retromandibular vein, drain middle ear, nasopharynx, soft palate. Efferent drainage, upper deep cervical node, jugulodigastric node. Nerve supply, nerve supply parasympathetic and sympathetic. Mostly parasympathetic via secretomotor, preganglionic, inferior salivary nucleus, and then they pass through the cranial nerve 9, tympanic branch, tympanic plexus, and tympanic plexus located into the promontory of the middle ear. Then drain into lateral petrosal nerve, then path into the foramen oval, and the last otic ganglion. Postganglionic otic ganglion drain into auriculotemporal nerve, cranial nerve. It is the branch of the mandibular nerve, and then parotid gland. Effect: watery, serous, saliva-rich in amylase. Sympathetic sensory and cranial nerve 7. Sympathetic vasomotor, preganglionic T1 to T3 lateral wound, superficial cervical sympathetic ganglion. Postganglionic plexus along external carotid artery. What's the effect? It's called vasoconstriction plus thick and reduced saliva. Sensory innervation, auriculotemporal nerve, sensation from that gland, great auricular nerve, C2, C3, skin overlay, parotid. Facial nerve passes through the gland, does not innervate it. Motor to muscle of the facial expression, most important surgical structure in parotid surgery. Already we can uh, teach that. Fraser syndrome, auriculotemporal nerve and damage. It's called aberrant innervation of the sweat gland, cause gustatory sweating. When you can eat anything, it's caused a sweating in the mouth, or when you can smell anything, it's caused a sweating in the mouth. What's about the histology? General structure: purely serous gland, no mucous cell, organized into lobules, separated by the connective tissue septa. Connected, contain the acini, rounded cluster of the serous gland around the lumen, serous cell pyramidal, basophilic cytoplasm, basal round nucleus. Zymogen granules, apical granule contain amylase, myoepithelial basket cell surround acini, aid the secretion. Duct system: intercalated duct, narrow cuboidal epithelium, drain acini directly. Striated intralobular duct, columnar cell with basal enfolding, modify saliva, ions. Interlobular duct, larger in septa, pseudostratified columnar epithelium. Main excretory duct, stratified columnar, leads into the stratified squamous at orifice. What about the stroma and other cell? Stroma, dense connective tissue, capsule with septa, adipose tissue, increase with age, parotid replaced by fat in elderly. Plasma cell produce secretory IgA, most important BCQ's point, that with immunoglobulin IgA. Salivary immunity, parotid lymph node found within the stroma, clinically significant. Secretions and function, main enzyme. Salivary alpha amylase, alpha amylase ptyalin. That is the enzyme which digests the starch. Also, proline-rich proteins, lysozyme, secretory IgA. Saliva is hypotonic. Striated duct reabsorb sodium ion and secrete potassium ion. Flow rate 0.3 to 0.5 milliliter per minute at rest. Increase in up to 10 x on stimulation. pH 6.8 to 7 at rest, alkaline when stimulated. Clinical anatomy, most important BCQ's point in the rounds and patient examination. It's the most important. Mumps, epidemic parotitis, viral paramyxovirus, bilaterally parotid swelling and fever, having a tense capsule, severely pain, poorly distensible fascia. Complication: orchitis, most important, most common and most important complication is orchitis, meningitis, pancreatitis. Trismus may occur masseter if masseter muscle involved. MMR vaccine is preventable. What is MMR? Measles, mumps, and rubella. Parotid tumor, pleomorphic adenoma, most common benign, up to 80% superficial lobe involved. Warthin's tumor, second most common, bilateral in 10%. Mucoepidermoid carcinoma, most common, malignant tumor. Malignancy sign, cranial nerve 7 involved, skin fixity, large, hard, and rapid growth. Rule of 80s. 80% parotid, 80% benign, 80% superficial. Frey syndrome, auriculotemporal nerve injury cause paradoxectomy, aberrant reinnervation, parasympathetic fiber to sweat glands, gustatory sweating cause flushing, sweating when eating. When you can eat anything, it's called flushing and sweating around the mouth, inside the mouth. How we can diagnose? Minor starch iodine test, treatment botulinum toxins, perspirine, and tympanic neurectomy. Parotid calculi, that is sialolithasis, less common than some mandibular calculi, up to 20% of all stones. Obstructive sialadenitis, pain and swelling at meal times, diagnosis by X-ray, 80% radio opaque. Ultrasound, CT, sialography, treatment, sialoendoscopy, lithotripsy, or surgery. Complications cause chronic sialadenitis, that is gland fibrosis. Also, sometimes parotid abscess, sarcoidosis, that is uveoparotid fever, Sjogren syndrome, xerostomia plus bilateral swelling, HIV, paratomegaly, parotid fistula. These are less common, but above the four, that is most common. We can conclude that it is the largest salivary gland, purely serous, in parotid preauricular lesion, having an irregular pyramid shape, weight 15 to 30 gram, divided into superficial 80, deep 20 by cranial nerve 7, enclosed into parotid sheath, stylomandibular ligament, separated from submandibular gland, contain facial nerve, external carotid artery, retromandibular vein, and parotid lymph node. Parotid duct, most important duct, Stenson duct, open opposite upper second molar tooth, 5 to 7 centimeter long. Blood supply, external carotid artery, retromandibular vein, retromandibular vein into internal jugular and external jugular vein. Parasympathetic secretomotor, cranial nerve 9, drain into otic ganglion, and that drain into auriculotemporal nerve. Histology, purely serous acini, rich in amylase, adipose increase with age. Clinical marks, pleomorphic adenoma, Frey syndrome, sialolithiasis are the key disorder. Here we can end up with thank you so much to all. Have a very nice day. Yes, this slides only contain very bullet points, very important business point of view. You can thoroughly go through with these slides. You can grip up that, or approximately 80 to 90% you can cover your parotid gland here. And when you give any the test, or when you are on the hospital side, you can follow that slides and you can learn each and every point from here. So thank you so much. Have a very nice day, and inshallah wait for our next video. Thank you.